Welcome to Prismology, the place where we dive deep into the unspoken truths of psychology, relationships, and emotional reality that most people never get taught. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload that could literally save your peace of mind. And if you're already feeling that quiet knot in your stomach about your relationship, do me a favor, smash the like button early. It really helps spread these hard-to-ear truths to more men who desperately need them. Right now, I need you to lean in close. Maybe pause your distractions. Turn the volume up because what I'm about to share might make your stomach drop a little. There are thousands of men watching this exact video who already sense something is off in their relationship, but they can't put their finger on it. They can't prove it. They can't explain it logically. And the absolute worst part, deep down, they feel completely crazy for even thinking it. They tell themselves, maybe I'm just paranoid, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm the problem. If that sentence just hit you in the chest, stick with me all the way to the end, because the final insight I shared today has the power to completely reframe how you see your entire relationship, past, present, and future. If you value raw, honest psychology, if you want real relationship insight that cuts through the fluff, if you're tired of surface-level advice and crave actual emotional clarity, then like this video right now, drop a comment with the word awareness below and subscribe. Let's get into it. Close your eyes for a second and imagine this very ordinary moment. Your why, your intuition, is your best ally sitting right next to her. Maybe in the passenger seat of the car after dinner, maybe on the couch during what used to be your favorite show, maybe lying in bed before lights out. She's holding her phone. Her face looks calm, normal, safe. Nothing obviously wrong, but something inside you feels wrong. Not a screaming alarm, not dramatic panic, just a quiet, persistent whisper that won't go away. Something changed. Something shifted, and you can't name it yet. Most men never talk about this feeling out loud. Why? Because from the time we're young, society drills into us that trusting your gut in relationships makes you insecure, controlling, toxic, paranoid. We're taught that real men don't get jealous, don't question, don't feel threatened by small things. So, we swallow the feeling. We rationalize it away. We stay silent. But here's the brutal, uncomfortable reality that almost no one says out loud. Your intuition is not your enemy. It is your oldest, most reliable early warning system. It evolved over millions of years to detect subtle threats to your survival, including threats to your emotional bonds. As someone who's worked as a psychologist and relationship coach with literally thousands of men and couples over the years, I can tell you this with complete certainty. The vast majority of relationships do not collapse overnight from one big explosive fight or one obvious betrayal. They collapse slowly, quietly, invisibly, long before the breakup ever becomes official. The emotional distance starts first. The subtle shifts start how relationships really end slowly and silently first. The tiny changes in language, tone, energy, and priority start first. And words, those small everyday words, change before the obvious behaviors ever become impossible to ignore. That's exactly why this video exists. Today, we're going deep on 5 specific words and the dangerous patterns behind them that very often begin appearing when a woman's emotional loyalty and investment quietly start shifting away from you and towards someone or something else. These words sound completely normal. They sound harmless. They sound polite. Most men hear them and think, okay, that's reasonable. Then keep walking forward blind. But once you learn to hear what lies underneath them, you can never unhear it again. So listen carefully, not from a place of fear, not from anger, but from calm, grounded awareness. Because awareness gives you power, power gives you choices, and real choices protect your dignity, your future, and your emotional health. If any of this is already resonating, hit that like button to let me know you're with me, and subscribe if you want more content like this that actually respects men's emotional intelligence. Let's start with the first word, one of the most misunderstood and weaponized signals in modern relationships. Almost every man misses it until the pattern becomes undeniable. Word number 1, busy. Now, pay very close attention because this word by itself is not a red flag. Life gets legitimately busy. Careers explode. Family emergencies happen. Deadlines pile up. That's normal. Word number 1, busy. The perfect excuse for emotional withdrawal psychology never judges a single word in isolation. It studies patterns over time. When a woman begins quietly shifting her emotional energy and attention elsewhere, her availability changes before anything else becomes visible. Emotional attention is finite, like a daily budget of mental and emotional currency. There are only so many hours, so many thoughts, so many feelings she can genuinely invest in a day. When a new person, or even a new fantasy world, hobby, or escape starts receiving meaningful emotional investment, something else has to lose out. And the safest, most socially bulletproof way to explain that loss is one simple word: busy. At first, it sounds completely innocent. I'm just really busy lately. Work has been absolutely crazy. I've had so much going on. Life is hectic right now. And because you're a good man, because you respect boundaries, because you don't want to be controlling, because you don't want to come across needy, you nod. You say, I get it. Take the time you need. You give her space. You try to be supportive. And that's precisely why this shift slips past so many men's radar. The change isn't in the word busy itself. It's in the emotional reality hiding behind the word. Think back. Really think back to the early days of your relationship or to any time when she was deeply emotionally invested in you. Did she magically become less busy? No. She became more creative with her time. She texted during lunch breaks. She called on her commute. She sent random memes or voice notes just to stay connected. She carved out minutes, even seconds, because those moments mattered. When emotional connection runs strong, people move mountains for micro moments together. But when emotional attention begins migrating somewhere else, those same minutes suddenly become too expensive. Replies slow down from minutes to hours to days. Plans get canceled or postponed repeatedly. Conversations shrink from deep and playful to short and logistical. Energy feels drained instead of energized, and busy becomes the perfect emotional buffer. It explains the growing distance without forcing anyone to confront the uncomfortable truth. What most men never realize is this emotional withdrawal almost never feels dramatic from the inside. It feels logical, it feels justified, it feels innocent. Her internal narrative becomes, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, I need breathing room. And she may genuinely believe every word of it, but what her conscious mind often doesn't notice or doesn't want to admit is exactly where that redirected emotional energy is quietly flowing. Humans rarely pull away from deep connection unless they're moving toward connection somewhere else. Whether that's a new person, an old flame, online attention, a fantasy escape, or even just the comfort of emotional independence. And you sitting word number 2, friend, where emotional affairs begin. Right there next to her, start feeling the temperature drop without understanding why. You start asking yourself quiet, painful questions. Am I asking for too much? Am I being clingy? Maybe she really is just stressed. Maybe I need to step up more. So you shrink your needs. You lower your standards. You silence your gut. And the emotional canyon quietly widens, one busy excuse at a time. If you're recognizing this pattern right now, drop a busy in the comments so other men know they're not alone. And if this channel is helping you see things clearly, subscribe and turn on the bell. We have a lot more to cover. The next word is even more subtle, far more socially protected, and for many men, far more dangerous to ignore. Word number 2, friend. This one hits different because it instantly disarms you. The moment you hear it, your nervous system wants to stand down. He's just a friend. We're only friends. You don't need to worry. He's a friend from work, Chai. It's not like that. Your brain relaxes because you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the insecure, jealous stereotype. You want to trust her. You want to be the secure, mature partner. But here's the psychological truth most men are never taught. Nearly every emotional affair in history began as just friends. Emotional connections almost never announce themselves as romantic threats in the beginning. They introduce themselves as safe, innocent friendships. It starts with shared laughs over coffee, shared complaints about work, shared stories about life struggles, shared moments of being truly understood. And here's the uncomfortable reality, backed by decades of attachment research. Emotional intimacy is the primary foundation of romantic and sexual attraction. Before butterflies appear, comfort appears. Before desire ignites, emotional familiarity grows. Before passion builds, emotional safety deepens. The human brain bonds through vulnerability, through being seen, through being heard without judgment. When meaningful emotional sharing increases with someone new, it naturally decreases with the primary partner. There is only so much deep emotional bandwidth to go around. That's why friend becomes one of the most effective shields. Not always because she's deliberately lying, but because in the early stages, she genuinely sees the connection as innocent. No one wakes up one morning and decides, today, I'm going to start an emotional affair. It happens gradually through repeated small emotional deposits that feel completely harmless in the moment. One extra conversation, one more inside joke, one more late-night text about nothing important, one more time she vents to him instead of you, one more time she shares good news with him first. The drift is so slow and so incremental that from the inside it feels normal. But from your side, your intuition starts whispering again. You notice his name popping up more frequently. You notice stories involving him becoming longer and more detailed. You notice subtle comparisons slipping into everyday talk. He said the funniest thing today, and suddenly the word friend starts feeling like a polite wall instead of a bridge. Word number 3, space. The cold request that signals drift. Healthy platonic friendships are transparent. They're comfortable to talk about. They don't usually trigger defensiveness or sudden boundary changes. But when emotional lines begin blurring, subtle shifts appear. You ask a casual question. Response feels sharper than expected. You express mild discomfort. Reaction feels disproportionately strong. You sense a new emotional wall where openness used to live. In that moment, many men begin feeling quietly replaced. Not physically, not officially, but emotionally. And emotional replacement almost always happens long before anything physical could ever occur. If the word friend has ever made your stomach twist, even just a little, leave friend in the comments. Let's make other guys feel less alone. And if you're getting value from these deep dives, like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series. The next word reveals when emotional distance evolves into something colder, emotional independence, and it lands heavier than most expect. Word number 3, space. Few words sound more reasonable, more mature, more emotionally evolved. I just need some space right now. I need time to think about things. I want to focus on myself for a bit. I need to figure out who I am outside of us. On the surface, this sounds healthy, and sometimes it is. Healthy relationships. Absolutely allow breathing room. Personal growth matters. Independence keeps things dynamic. But as always, psychology lives in the patterns, the timing, and the emotional temperature surrounding the request. When emotional closeness is strong and secure, space feels warm, it feels temporary, it feels like stretching your legs inside a safe, trusting connection. It's usually wrapped in reassurance. I need a little time, but I love you so much. I'm stressed, but we're solid. This isn't about us. I just need to recharge so I can come back better for you. Reassurance naturally flows when the bond is intact, but when emotional loyalty has already begun shifting, space arrives colder, longer, more vague, more open-ended, and crucially, without the emotional warmth attached. That missing reassurance is what confuses and hurts men the most. You don't know whether to pursue, give more space, fight, or retreat. So, you freeze, and freezing creates even more emotional distance. Psychologically, what's happening is this. When someone starts forming a meaningful emotional connection elsewhere, they experience internal conflict, guilt, cognitive dissonance, fear of being the bad guy. The brain solution. Create distance to reduce the tension. Space becomes a buffer zone, a transition area, a way to emotionally step back without having to officially end anything or confront hard choices. It gives permission to explore word number 4. Stress. When she stops running to you new feelings while delaying consequences. From the inside, it feels like self-care, like personal development, like needing clarity. From your side, the emotional thermostat drops. Conversations lose depth. Future plans become vague or disappear. Physical affection feels forced or absent. You start feeling like the relationship is being quietly moved to the background while you're still 100% present and invested. This is the stage where many men panic and double down. More texts, more gifts, more emotional labor, more proving themselves. But here's the painful truth psychology confirms again and again. Chasing emotional distance rarely restores closeness. Closeness cannot be forced, begged, or guilted into existence. It can only be freely chosen every day. And when space is paired with increasing emotional unavailability, the relationship slips into a quiet, painful limbo. Like this video, if you're starting to see these patterns more clearly, and subscribe so we can keep unpacking the truth together. The next word often appears right after space becomes the new normal. On the surface, it sounds empathetic and understandable, but underneath it signals a major redirection. Word number 4, stress. I'm just really stressed right now. I have so much on my mind. Everything feels overwhelming. I can't deal with anything extra. Life is stressful. Work pressure is real. Family issues are real. Mental health struggles are real. No one is denying that. But here's what so many men quietly notice and suffer over in silence without knowing how to articulate it. She used to run toward you when life got heavy. Now she runs away from you when life gets heavy. In a secure emotional bond, your partner becomes your safe harbor, your soft place to land, your relief valve. When the world feels crushing, you lean closer, you share more, you seek comfort, you draw strength from each other. That's the natural flow of attachment. So when stress suddenly becomes the reason to withdraw instead of connect, the confusion is crushing. You want to help. You want to fix it. You want to be her rock. You offer support, patience, understanding. But the more you offer, the further she seems to drift. The distance doesn't shrink, it expands. The psychology here is straightforward but brutal. When emotional comfort and relief start, living somewhere else, another person, another space, another habit, the brain quietly rewires its associations. She may vent to someone else first, share wins with someone else first, laugh or cry with someone else first. Over time, you slowly shift from being her emotional home to her emotional responsibility, and responsibilities feel heavy, especially when emotional excitement and lightness live elsewhere. Stress becomes the perfect all-purpose explanation. You can't argue with it. You can't disprove it. You can't debate it. It reduces conflict while allowing the emotional gap to widen, unchallenged. She protects herself from guilt. You protect the relationship by staying understanding. Everyone loses quietly. The most heartbreaking part, you start working overtime to become the perfect partner. More patient, more accommodating, more low maintenance. But emotional distance caused by redirected emotional investment cannot be solved by effort alone. Effort doesn't manufacture word number 5. Change, the final sign. She's emotionally gone desire. Effort doesn't recreate emotional novelty. Effort doesn't restore genuine excitement. Those things require mutual emotional choice. And when that choice fades, the relationship begins feeling painfully one-sided. If this part is hitting hard, drop stress in the comments. Let's normalize men talking about these silent shifts. And finally, the word that often signals emotional separation is almost complete, even if the relationship still technically exists. Word number 5, change. I've changed. Things have changed between us. I feel different now. I'm not the same person I was. This one lands softly, but it carries the heaviest weight of all 5. Because change isn't usually about surface habits or routines, it's about identity at the deepest level. In the beginning of a relationship, two people don't just fall in love with each other, they fall in love with the version of themselves that emerges in that connection. Shared jokes, shared dreams, shared emotional shorthand, a shared future vision, a shared identity. This is who I am when I'm with you. So when someone says I've changed or things have changed, what's really being communicated, even if they don't fully realize it, is this, the version of me that existed inside this relationship, is fading or has already faded. And that realization devastates because you usually feel it long before you hear it. The laughter doesn't land the same. The inside jokes feel forced. The future talk disappears. The emotional warmth cools into something polite but distant. No single dramatic moment explains it. It just changes. This is the stage where many men torture themselves in silence. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? Could I have seen this sooner? Could I have fixed it? Listen very carefully. Emotional distance and drift in long term. Relationships is rarely caused by one big mistake. It's almost always the result of slow, quiet, cumulative emotional drift when two people stop deliberately choosing each other every day. Not because one person is evil, not because one person failed catastrophically, but because attention wandered, energy wandered, emotional what to do next. Awareness, boundaries, and self-respect focus wandered, and romantic relationships, even the strongest ones, survive only on consistent emotional focus and mutual choice. Here's the truth most men were never taught growing up. Your value does not come from successfully chasing someone who is emotionally walking away. Your value comes from recognizing when emotional reciprocity dies and choosing yourself with the same loyalty, energy, and respect you once poured into the relationship. You deserve mutual effort. You deserve mutual excitement. You deserve mutual emotional presence. You deserve a connection where you never feel like you're slowly disappearing while still fully showing up. If anything in this video felt uncomfortably familiar, don't panic. Don't lash out in anger. Don't beg or chase. React with calm, grounded awareness and quiet strength. Have the honest, sometimes brutally honest conversations. Ask direct questions and listen to actions far more than promises. Observe patterns over time, not isolated moments. Protect your self-respect above everything else. Because the strongest, healthiest relationships are never built on guessing games, mind reading, or endless effort to fix someone else's emotional withdrawal. They are built on radical honesty, mutual clarity, and daily emotional choice from both sides. If this video opened your eyes even a little, if it gave you language for feelings you've carried alone, then do 3 things right now. Smash that like button. It helps more men find this content. Subscribe to Prismology and hit the bell so you never miss the next deep final message. You deserve mutual choice dive. Drop one of the 5 words below. Busy friend space stress change to let me know which one hit hardest, or just write awareness if the whole message landed. Thank you for watching all the way through. You deserve emotional truth. You deserve clarity, and you deserve relationships that make you feel seen, chosen, and whole, not slowly erased. The right person will never make you question your sanity for noticing the quiet changes. The right relationship will never make you feel like you're disappearing while still giving everything. Take care of yourself out there.